How many people got on the bus at the beginning of the story? At the beginning of the story, All About a Dog by A.G. Gardiner, three people got on the bus, two women and a man. What was the younger woman suffering? In the story All About a Dog by A.G. Gardiner, the younger woman was suffering from a cough and cold. What breed was the dog? In All About a Dog by A.G. Gardiner, the dog was a Pekingese. This breed is known for its small size, long fur, and distinctive beady-eyed appearance. How do the conductor and lady with dog react to the rule about the dog being on the top deck? In All About a Dog by A.G. Gardiner, the conductor reacts to the rule about the dog being on the top deck by strictly enforcing it. He insists that the woman with the small dog move to the upper deck. Despite a bitterly cold night and ladies suffering from cold and cough, the conductor's rigid adherence to the rule shows his lack of empathy and flexibility. On the other hand, the woman reacts with resistance and frustration. She argues with the conductor, unwilling to move to the top deck because of the harsh conditions. Her reluctance and the ensuing argument highlight her discomfort and the unfairness of the situation. The other passengers sympathize with her, but the conductor remains unmoved, focusing solely on enforcing the rule. This clash between the conductor's strictness and the woman's resistance creates tension and conflict in the story. How does the passenger under the harrow describe the situation for other passengers on the bus? In All About a Dog, the phrase under the harrow describes the passenger's discomfort and frustration. The bus conductor insists that a woman with a dog move to the upper deck. Despite the freezing weather, the strict rule enforcement causes everyone on the bus to suffer. The passengers feel trapped and annoyed by the situation. This scene shows how rigidly following rules without empathy can create unnecessary problems and make people unhappy. The story highlights the importance of understanding and flexibility in dealing with others. Write a character sketch of the conductor. In All About a Dog by A.G. Gardiner, the conductor is shown as a strict and rule following person. He is determined to enforce rules that dogs are not allowed inside the bus. He insists that the woman with the small dog move to the upper deck of the bus. Despite a bitter cold night and her suffering from cold and cough, she is clearly unwell. His strictness shows that he cares more about the following rules than about the people's comfort or health. The conductor seems to enjoy the power he has over the passengers and uses this situation to show his authority. He does not show any sympathy or understanding, which make him seem harsh and unkind. This behavior might come from his own frustration and the need to feel important. Overall, the conductor represents the rigid and sometimes uncaring nature of authority, focusing on rules rather than the well being of individuals. Does the conductor's moment of triumph seem justified based on the story? In All About a Dog, the conductor's moment of triumph does not seem justified. He strictly enforces the rules, making a woman with a dog move to the upper deck in a bitterly cold night. This causes discomfort and frustration for all passengers. While the conductor feels victorious, his lack of empathy and rigid rule following create a negative atmosphere. The story shows that understanding and flexibility are more important than strict rule enforcement. Why did the author have a feeling that there was going to be trouble? In All About a Dog by A.G. Gardiner, the author felt trouble was coming because the bus conductor was very strict. It was a bitterly cold night. A woman got onto the bus with her small dog. The conductor insisted that she move to upper deck, even though it was a bitterly cold night and she was suffering from cold and cough. The author, who was also on the bus, he sensed that this would lead to conflict. The woman did not want to move because of the harsh weather, and the other passengers started to feel uncomfortable and frustrated. The conductor's strict enforcement of the rules without considering the situation created tension. As the argument continued, the passengers' discomfort grew. They were stuck in the middle of the disagreement between the conductor and the woman. The conductor's rigid attitude made things worse, and the atmosphere on the bus became unpleasant. The story showed that enforcing rules without empathy caused unnecessary problems. The conductor's moment of triumph when he finally got the woman to move did not feel justified because it made everyone uncomfortable. The author used this situation to highlight the importance of balancing rules with compassion and understanding. In summary, the author felt trouble was coming because the conductor's strict attitude and lack of empathy created a conflict that affected everyone on the bus. The story taught that while rules are important, they should be applied with flexibility and consideration for others. Do you think following rules strictly is the best policy? Why or why not? In All About a Dog by A.G. Gardiner, strictly following rules is not portrayed as the best policy. The conductor's rigid enforcement of the rule about dogs on the bus leads to unnecessary discomfort and conflict. The woman with the dog is clearly unwell, and the cold weather makes the situation worse. By insisting on the rule without considering the circumstances, the conductor comes across as unsystematic and harsh. This approach highlights the negative side of strict rule following. It can ignore human needs and compassion. Rules are important for order, but flexibility and understanding are also crucial. In this story, a more balanced approach where the conductor considers the woman's health and the minor nature of the rule violation would have been more human and effective. Thus, the story suggests that while rules are necessary, they should be applied with empathy and discretion to truly serve the best interests of everyone involved.